Hello there everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to talk about Jurassic World Rebirth, and today I'm actually going to show off this little bingo card that I made for myself when I'm actually going to watch the film. I'm going to cross down things that I thought were going to be in the film. Obviously that's how bingo works, right? You cross off things on your card. So today I'm actually going to talk about that. But first I'm going to tell you about Jurassic World Rebirth. So obviously Jurassic World Rebirth is a 2025 American science fiction action film directed by Gareth Edwards and written by David Kopp or something like that. It is a standalone sequel to Jurassic World Dominion, the fourth Jurassic World film and the seventh installment overall in Jurassic Park franchise. The film stars Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend, Manuel Garcia Rulfo and Ed Skrein. Development of the film was reported in January 2024 and had been underway for some time. Edwards was hired and directed a month later, and casting commenced shortly thereafter. Principal photography took place in Thailand, Malta, and the United Kingdom from June to September 2024. Cope previously co-wrote the original Jurassic Park film 1993 and wrote its sequel, The Lost World Jurassic Park. Jurassic World Rebirth premiered on the 17th of June at Odeon Leicester Square in London and is scheduled to be released in the United States and Canada on July the 2nd by Universal Pictures. Obviously, I live in Belgium and the film isn't out yet. I believe it's out the 4th of July, or obviously it's going to be released in Belgium, especially on the 4th of July, and I think in the United States and Canada on the 2nd of July, which is interesting. But I think some of the content creators in Belgium actually saw the film because they're content creators and you know what, they have premieres and they were invited and shit like that. But anyway, I believe Anders Scholtens, which is like a Dutch and a Belgian vlogger and I suppose content creator, actually watched the film in Paris, and also Sander de Rijk, which is a comedian from Belgium, actually watched the film in London, so the premiere, which was really interesting to see. I was really thrilled actually for Xander, this comedian, because he's a big fan of Jurassic Park, and he constantly talks about it because it's one of his favorite films. So there we go, that's very nice. So alright, let's talk about this little bingo card that I made. And spoilers alert and little announcement, I guess my printer did not work efficiently, so my paper is a bit, weird. But anyway, let's just talk about it. Like I said, pardon my printing work here, but this is the bingo card that I made for myself. The trailer, was released 4 months ago or 2 months ago. And now I have these little things that I'm going to talk about, obviously. Some things might have already been seen and shown, I guess, in the trailer, but it's been a long time since I watched that one. And I want to look at the film with a, I suppose, bright new view. So alright, let's talk about these little, I guess, squares, and let's talk about the first three over here. So alright, let's talk about this one, the left one. Alright, abandoned facilities is called. Obviously, in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, you have these facilities where dinosaurs were created, obviously. We've seen some of those facilities in Jurassic Park 3, and I really wanted to see, obviously, if Jurassic World Rebirth is going to touch upon that. But yes, we've already seen these in the trailer, so I guess I can already cross this one off. But you know what, it's still interesting to see how they're going to actually incorporate this into the film's plot and story. So let's just wait and see how they'll actually do that, because they can do anything, quite literally anything with these facilities. Maybe they can rest in them, or maybe they can find some more secrets and experiments. So yeah, there we go. All right. The second one is human dinos. So this is a little backstory. Let's just talk about that really quickly. The thing is with Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, obviously you have these dinosaurs, right? You have the dinosaurs living on these islands. And obviously in the second film, Jurassic Park, The Lost World, one of those T-Rexes went to, I believe it was San Francisco. In Jurassic World franchise, so the last two films, the dinosaurs were scattered on Earth and they walked alongside the humans in these vast new, I suppose, areas, or for them especially, right? So I think obviously Jurassic Park 4 was actually planned to make a release in the early 2000s or something like that. But yeah, it was cancelled because the story was too brutal in a way. That's where the human dinosaurs come in, right? There were plans to introduce dinosaurs crossbred with humans, like obviously in Jurassic Park franchise, we were told that the dinos were cross-created with frogs. And what if humans actually were the DNA sample that they used instead of the frogs? So what if actually humans tested on humans with dinosaurs, and we have these human dinos? I don't think this is going to be a possibility, but you know, I have a slight feeling that we're going to see experimental dinosaurs. Obviously, if they're going to be human, that's another question. But obviously, in the trailer and the teaser trailer, we saw some kind of, I guess, experimented dinosaur. So that will be very interesting, and we'll need to wait and see for those conclusions and answers. All right. So, all right, let's talk about this last square on the first row. This one looks very obvious. Obviously, it's Ian and Alan back. Ian, Malcolm, and Alan Grant are obviously two characters first introduced in Jurassic Park 1. Obviously, Ian Malcolm had a bigger role in the second film, Jurassic Park The Lost World. Then Alan Grant came back for Jurassic Park 3, so these are essentially the main characters of the first trilogy. We also had them in Jurassic World Dominion, where obviously they were back and introduced back again for this bigger adventure. So we'll need to wait and see if one of these characters will appear in, obviously, Jurassic World Rebirth, because I think that could be very interesting, obviously, because Ian, Malcolm, and Alan have both a very big, crucial role in the film franchise. Alan Grant is a paleontologist, and Ian Malcolm is like scientist or whatever. I think Alan was briefly mentioned in the first teaser trailer of Jurassic World Rebirth, but I'm not quite sure about that anymore. Like I said, it's been a few months since I last watched those trailers. So right, let's talk about the next two squares. Alright, the next two squares are Owen and Claire back. Let's just talk about that, just like the two other characters that we just talked about. So Owen Grant, it's Owen Grady and Claire, whatever her last name is. Owen and Claire were supposedly the main characters of the second trilogy. Owen Grady, obviously played by Chris Pratt, and Claire were lovers, I suppose. They were more than friends, obviously, and they raised this girl in Jurassic World Dominion, and obviously the Jurassic World, the second last one. So there we go. Obviously, Owen and Claire, they have this relationship, and it would be very interesting to see Owen or Claire return in Jurassic World Rebirth. Obviously, I think they're going to set up a new trilogy, obviously Jurassic World and something, beginning with Rebirth itself. So Owen and Claire, might they return? I'm not quite sure, but it would be very fun to see them return, especially Chris Pratt, because I mean, he's a very muscular man, and he can say, you know what you're doing is going to be wrong, guys. But obviously, all the characters, the main characters of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, know that dinosaurs are very dangerous, but yet again, they just make more films about dinosaurs and being in trouble. So, I suppose, let's talk about the next square. This next one is going to be very crucial. I think so. So I guess let's just talk about it. It's mainly for a joke, but still it's going to be very interesting nonetheless. I suppose if you have a Jurassic Park or a Jurassic World film, you need children in danger. That's always a thing, right? It was first introduced in Jurassic Park, and obviously it went along. Obviously the second film and the third film had children in danger. The Jurassic World films also had children in danger. Obviously that visited the Jurassic World Park. And yeah, I guess it's sort of a thing. So I hope that we're going to see children in danger. You know, it's not quite right to say this, but you know, it's always that fun, you know, that stress, and you know, people just want children to be safe, but if they're in danger, it makes us more, you know, hanging on to our seats, right? We're more stressed about the situation when children are in danger, right? So I suppose that's another square. Let's talk about the three last ones. Alright, these three upcoming ones are the last ones, so I guess let's talk about this one. Alright, the T-Rex saves the day. I don't think I need to explain myself here, because the T-Rex of Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World, I'm not quite sure if it's the same T-Rex every time, but you know, a T-Rex just saves the day somehow. You know, they just stumble upon the situation, they kill off some dinosaurs and just roar, and the main characters can walk away or run away. So I suppose it's the first film that first introduced that, with the T-Rex just eating the raptors in that big hole. Then we had obviously in Jurassic World the T-Rex that I suppose saved them somehow from the Indominus Rex. And yeah, I guess that's a thing in Jurassic Park. The T-Rex is like the main essential dinosaur that we need to see. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what will happen obviously in Jurassic World Rebirth, but it could be fun nonetheless if you were to see Rexy, aka the T-Rex, in the upcoming film. Alright, the next one's dinos in the world and they die. All of them. Ooh, very dramatic, right? So, dinos in the real world, or in our world, right? The dinosaurs in Jurassic World, the trilogy, the last one, were sent off or sent out in the real world, which obviously made a lot of fans not really happy, because the dinosaurs should be just located on a few islands and not really the entire world, because now the dinosaurs are literally living on Earth, and that's the main premise, I guess, from Jurassic World. Like, the dinosaurs are in the world, so they just, you know, they go along their doings, they live alongside other animals, but they can also be a threat sometimes, because, you know, they can attack helicopters and attack airplanes. Maybe they can kill off other predators like lions and other animals like that. So they become essentially the alpha species of the world, but obviously humans can somehow stop them always. So there we go. I think it's a big danger if dinosaurs were still to be on Earth. I'm not quite sure, but obviously then the main characters are going to go to a private island where experiments were made and experimental dinosaurs were created for the testing of these dinos. So I'm not quite sure what will happen, but we'll need to wait and see if these dinos actually rule the world yet again, just like they did with Jurassic World Dominion. Alright, and the last square is going to be they die, all of them. So the main characters all die off. I'm not quite sure about this one, but you know, Marshall Ali looks very, you know, scared in one of those shots of the trailer with this flare. I guess he's holding this flare, which, you know, he's screaming. He's probably trying to run away from a dinosaur, and I'm not quite sure. Obviously, the main character played by Scarlett Johansson and the other paleontologist also are in big trouble on this island. Obviously, this island, like I said, is full of experimental dinosaurs. Like, you just don't run away from experimental dinosaurs. You know, first of all, dinosaurs are very dangerous, and experimental dinosaurs, maybe they can fly, maybe they can swim faster, maybe, you know, they can do something that normal dinos can't do. Just like the second square that I talked about, human dinos. Maybe they're just humans. Maybe they're smarter than normal dinos. Maybe they're just something, you know, diabolical, right? So we'll just need to wait and see for that. But alright, I'm very thrilled for this Jurassic World sequel, Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm very excited, and I'm going to make some more bingo cards for the upcoming films, like obviously Fantastic Four and Superman. I'm really excited for those two films also, but Jurassic World Rebirth, you know, Fantastic Four and Superman are three films that I really want to see in the cinemas, because, you know, we're so back, man. The summer is filled with great films. Obviously, How to Train Your Dragon, I've already seen that one, but it was also great. And, you know, a lot of things will happen in the summer. Obviously, we have great films, great series coming up, and I'm going to talk about these things, obviously, in the coming months. So, alright, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to get more Jurassic Park videos, just let me know down in the comment section below, and I will check you later. Goodbye, everyone.